Hello everyone, Winham here. As I showed in my last video, this is the vast majority of my Iris collection. Majority of the cards on the right side are English, but only one on the left is an English version. I'm pretty sure, I've mixed them up sometimes, but pretty sure that's the very first copy I bought in 2018. But in this video, I wanted to focus on this one here, which obviously is not a real card, it's a printout. And you could tell if you're able to speak it's Spanish. Now, I don't want to get too deep into the various languages that Pokemon's printed cards over the years, because I have another card I could show that is better for explaining, since that one is a modern card which has I want to say it's 12 languages now that Pokemon's printed in Pokemon cards. So I'll save a more detailed discussion on the various languages then. But here you can see this is English, this one's French, this one's German, this one is Portuguese, Italian, Korean, the two Japanese ones. The difference between the two versions is one is unlimited and one is the first edition. And in Japanese, Iris is Megalio Canon, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And the same goes for Korean, was the only other Asian language Iris was printed in. It actually took me quite a long time to find this Korean version. I've only ever seen it twice on eBay, so it's kind of rare to come across. Although I don't think technically it's rare, you just don't see it so that often. And one other interesting tidbit here is the German Iris card is called Lila. All the others are called Iris. But on to this one here, and it's the Spanish version. Now, as I said in the title, this is technically a card that doesn't exist. And the reason for that is, which it took me a while to figure that out, because when I searched online, I did find a very high resolution image of this Spanish card, which is what I printed out. And that is because this card appeared in, that was a PTCGO scam, the online client from back then. So that's how I was able to print this card out. And another thing I did was when I went onto Card Market, I did actually see a Spanish copy of Iris. I bought a few cards from that seller in Spain, but as you could see, this is actually a French copy of the card. So the seller, that seller in Spain, he obviously, I'm assuming it's a he or she, obviously listed the card wrong. So it's not a Spanish copy. So you might be wondering, so what's the deal? And the deal is that basically there was no physical copy of this card printed in Spanish. It took me at least 2 months of blindly trying to find a copy of Iris in Spanish to actually go and check Wikipedia, where I saw that Plasma Blast, I can't remember what it was technically called in Spanish, but you just say Plasma Blast, wasn't actually printed in Spanish, even though they had translated it for the online client and I believe some other things. This card was never printed because at the time, not all cards from in the black and white era were being printed in Spanish, but they were still being translated. So that's essentially why I have a official card, you could say, that was never printed. So that's kind of a long-winded answer. I'll have to say this was what really misled me, because I went on to Card Market and so saw, oh, someone actually has a Spanish regular print, so there must be a full art print, but as the saying goes, don't always trust what people post on the internet. That's the end of the video, and thanks for watching.